Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just welcome. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just welcome. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just welcome. Winternomics.
What up? How y'all doing? Man, that took forever. My bad. There's like 20 left. Sorry about that. Well, that's definitely going to be an issue. Well, this is Demon Slayer. I don't know if you guys can get the vibes, but right now there's still a lot of dumb money out there, and there's still a lot of people to die. So that's kind of the vibes. What's poppin'? Appreciate the few of you that made it. I know I'm a couple hours late. What is the vibe out there? You were doing Demon Slayer sketches? That's a sync wave and a half. I like it. Great time for AUS. That's what's up. I'm counting on you, Aussies. Where you guys at? Europe and Aussie. I'm looking for you guys. The struggle was real. You have no idea. To figure out to get the lighting right so this motherfucker will stay is a real bitch. This thing's fire, isn't it? Where do they keep getting them every fucking day? We here. How'd you guys do today? Saw some people make some crazy plays off the FOMC. It was pretty nice. I do know that anime. Very cool. You ever seen Ninja Scroll? That's my favorite anime. That's a classic. A lot of people swear by Akira. I think Ninja Scroll is the best anime ever made. What do you think, server? The still shot, boy, it was a real bitch to fucking come up with the Steam snipe. So, take a look at a couple things that we saw come out of the FOMC. We had a cool projection. Saw a bunch of you guys make some cool plays on it. Some of you are fucking crazy. Don't be playing seconds charts on fucking Solana. That's crazy. That's some degen shit. Total population 5 from West Australia. Fucking shout out PQ. We did have fucking like 100 the other night. It was pretty amazing. But I was also fucking on here like 2 hours earlier. Between IT issues, theme issues, fucking artwork, man, you have no idea the like pressure cooker to get this one out. Like, it's not typical chill vibes. I was struggling. I'm sexy as a demon. I like that. Sexy demons. What are you into over there? So let's see. So we didn't get exactly this, but we did get a pretty close version of it in the whipsaw that I saw some of you guys weapon. I'll show you a cool one I saw today from somebody. This is a double booby crackhead using dildo rules in the first part of the day, waiting for the FOMC, using entry logic from the whipsaw, and to play that out for some crazy shit. So pretty amazing. Dodged obviously the dump move, so good stuff. But I love to see people translate this stuff right from the show. That was pretty cool. So you got your playbook for FOMC, you've got dick rules. What more do you need? What up, Black Doggy? That was a sick play. Spirited Away was one for me. You know, I watched that. I just it's a little too fucking out there for me. It's like way too crazy. But it was cool. I mean, as far as artistically, it was fucking amazing to see that. But like, it was a little like way, you needed more mushrooms than I had at the time, I think. I want to show you guys something funny that came out tonight. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. So how many of you saw this interview It happened today with Michael Saylor and David Faber on CNBC. It's actually kind of crazy, right? So if you listen to his core logics of why he's bullish on Bitcoin, it's actually scary to hear a person use this and have control of $4 billion to put into Bitcoin. Any of you see this? Time to lose $9 billion. I'll see if I can pull that guy up. That's on ASX. Okay. You have to listen to this. Let's see. I think this will come through my computer. Let me see. Yeah, you listen to this, right? Crits, like, I was like, dude, that's not your logic, is it? Like, please say no. Let me get this to the spot real quick and cue it up there.
5 for us.
Let's see, it was. Oh, it seems like that would be simpler to do. Really?
Yet again, and his name is Michael Saylor. Michael, nice to have you with us.
It's like up here. Let's see if we get it. I don't want to get flagged. Let me leave it this small. So, like, listen to this.
Yeah, I think if you think about Bitcoin, if your time horizon is 1 month, it looks like a volatile risk asset. But if your time horizon is 10 years, it looks like a risk-off store of value asset. So the crossover point is 4 years. Nobody's ever lost money investing in Bitcoin for 4 years. And if you want to...
Oh, no. Don't put that into the universe, Michael.
Surrogate for the book value of the Bitcoin network, it would be the 4-year simple moving average. The simple moving average of Bitcoin over 4 years is about $21,685. Bitcoin's only touched that point a couple.
The 4-year simple moving average, that's key, because that's what that's been the sweet spot moving average of them all.
Of times in its history, and those have always been great buying opportunities. Right, this is Bitcoin's on sale.
We're touching that price right now. It's funny you should mention it. So is it a great buying opportunity?
Absolutely.
That was a fuckle. Did anybody detect that? You guys know what a fuckle is, right? Did you guys hear it? Did you hear him? Could you hear him? That's a fuckle. There was no confidence in that one. Is this a great time? I'm broke. That motherfucker, what? 4-year simple moving average? Wait, there's more.
Bitcoin's backed by the most powerful secure computer network in the world. If I give you $100 billion, you can't reproduce it. And it's beyond a nation-state attack or corporate attack. So once you understand that, and the fact that it's a singularity, there's nothing like it in the world, then yeah, this is an ideal entry point to get into this thing.
Right here.
All right, but you've also taken on debt in order to actually accrue that position, which does incur a certain amount of risk, doesn't it? I mean,
See, that's another part in there where he talks about it's the only thing in the fucking universe, and it's just crazy. Like, he has no real rationale, you know. He's underwater. He clearly has no money to buy any more of it unless he borrows more money. And, you know, it's just crazy what he justifies it. The thing's been around for 12 fucking years. And, like, it's the 4-day moving average. That's the key. Like, dude, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, right? And so when we look at that, there's still demons in the market to slay, right? That's just illogical. You've got institutional money sounding kind of like just any fucking crazy maxi on Twitter. That doesn't sound like something that should be in control of $4 billion. Like, that's your rationale. If you've got a 10-year horizon and you use the 4-day moving average, bro, what? Did you say 4-year or 4-day? Let me look at that again. It's like so ridiculous. I can't even fucking believe it. Let me get the question in here too.
you would actually consider buying more at these prices?
Yeah, I think if you think about Bitcoin, if your time horizon is 1 month, it looks like a volatile risk asset. But if your time horizon is 10 years, it looks like a risk-off store of value asset. So the crossover point is 4 years. Nobody's ever lost money investing in Bitcoin for 4 years. And if you want a surrogate for the book value of the Bitcoin network, it would be the 4-year simple moving.
Sorry, my bad. It's much worse. It's the 4-year simple moving average. Let me show you this real quick. Let's look at the 4-year simple moving average, shall we? Let's just get rid of all of our indicators on this. What does a 4-year moving average look like on Bitcoin's lifetime? I want to break down this technical analysis right now. So I have to apply, oops, didn't mean to do that. All right, let's go to simple moving average. What the hell is that? I just want a regular simple moving average. I'll just turn my moving average to the fucking goddamn thing. One sec. So I'm gonna put this thing on weekly, and at 52, I'm gonna need 258 to make that a 4-year. So this is what he's done. This coin has been around for fucking literally 12 years. And this man has done an average that can't even begin until fucking like, you know, a half a decade later. And he's adjusted to exactly the right setting to where, look, guys, that's support. Do you know the word statistical significance? There's a reason you leave TA to the pros. That's crazy though. Like I was like, man, that's just not really a great answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And man, yeah, if you put it, Tiki, if you put it into the yearly setting, there's fucking like 4 candles that are on the average. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You know, if you set it to just fucking like a decade and a 1 fucking period moving average, it's probably bullish. Like, what? Everybody can cheat the system like that. Like, geez, that just turned into fucking like the setting down to nothing. And then look, guys. But yeah, that's the logic that's got people with $4 billion in the market. That's the logic that has Celsius in existence. That's the logic that has fucking Luna in existence, right? That's the logic that's in Tron. That's the logic that's fucking behind Luna Part 2. That's all correlated. Really shitty, like, logic. And it's only panic when you can see that somehow Celsius keeps getting more assets to fucking back up their stops. 3AC blew up. Fucking this guy can somehow survive down to 4K, and Kathy Big Penis is still giving people dick. It's actually like nothing sounds very intelligent in the marketplace, does it? It's like time for a demon slayer. Like somebody's got to flush this shit out. So I think the word of the day is caution on the bounce. You know, we were looking for that this morning. The bounce is kind of anemic. We saw good relative strength in fucking NFTs, which was kind of a hint that crypto could bounce. If you saw that, there was definitely some risk-seeking behavior in the market. But all in all, it's been kind of a weak bounce, and you had the Fed announcement. But it's out of the way. If the S&P squeezes higher on the, our projection we gave you guys, we'll look at the projection again. Then, you play it cautiously. But this shit fucking is like that's not the kind of shit that comes out of anybody near the bottom. Do you know why it's a good deal? Let me tell you, after fucking millions and millions of dollars of research, we have poured fucking AI, all kinds of computer programming. We've got the best, and we've got a simple moving average that you wouldn't believe. It starts with 4. Like, this is it? That's your research? Motherfucker? What the fuck have I been doing my whole life? That's crazy. Gotta take a drink break for that. Did you guys and gals have a good day? I hope you guys had a good day. Ross Berger coded it. I knew that motherfucker would sell me out. Can't trust him for shit. Once he learned how to make color changing moving averages, he jumped ship. A 4-period color changing moving average. How much you pay for that? Yeah, it's actually pretty fucking buffoon level 1000 what you're listening to, dude. So, that just, many of you here now, at this point, crypto's been around long enough. A good amount of reviewers are from previous cycles. You guys all know none of that kind of stuff is happening in the bottom at all. Nobody's talking like this. Yeah, like none of that. Nobody thinks Bitcoin can live out of the bottoms. There's not any like maxis left alive when it bottoms. And if it's like to what it's going to take to bottom it out to get him, he creates like another scenario that seems much, much, much worse than we're giving it credit for. When you look at the de-risk we're dealing with right now, and you say like, wow, there's these multi-billion dollar, Ponzi fucking, schemes that have like got all this misappropriated capital fucking trapped into them from loose money policy, and the Fed is trying to like pop all these bubbles. How many exactly bubbles are there to pop? How big is this deflationary bust need to actually be to actually get that out? It doesn't look like you're actually all the way at the bottom of it. There's still a lot of people that have benefited from loose money policy. Like he's saying in there, he got like, $2 billion at fucking 1.8%. That's exactly the problem, right? That's what's inflationary, that people can get fucking money like that and take a gamble on anything. When Buffett talks about the fact that Bitcoin doesn't have utility, like you don't, get it to do anything. He can take 1.8% and he can bet on something underneath inflation and see what happens. And he doesn't really have to be that prudent with his investments. Once the Fed's drawing on the system like he is now, the central bank is drawing on the system, there's no influx to really keep what he's doing going. He can't keep finance buying, and that's part of the inflation of the money supply that he wants to benefit from in a deflationary asset like Bitcoin. If there's no rapid influx and no velocity of capital into Bitcoin or into the monetary system, you don't really benefit on a deflationary asset, right? And that's what's happening. The market, the whole system is contracting, and he's still betting with the same mindset Cathy did when things reversed out of the COVID impulse. So it's kind of like, that logic is not aligned with what's happening in reality right now as the Fed keeps doing what they're doing. That's why he has to go, 4-year moving average, 10 years out. Great. If I fucking don't get hit by a bus till I see this fucking play out, what the fuck resolution am I supposed to set my fucking chart on for this shit? Like, oh my God, bro. So yeah, it's actually quite crazy. No stops, infinite credit, and fucking, I hope they fucking pull it off. And at his age, he's gonna be lucky to see that fucking trade out in the time span his ass just said. He takes a couple more fucking corrections like this, his heart's not gonna fucking take this shit. So that's just crazy, right? And that's pretty much useless information, except for the fact it sounds like a maxi trying to justify fucking, not needing to have a stop on anything and just buy it back later, like most intelligent people who fucking trade in risk markets would do. So that's sentiment things, right? No? Yes? I think that's sentiment things. Ooh. So wherever Celsius is getting more fucking ETH and BTC to put up as collateral, wherever he's got anybody willing to fucking sit in the background of what he's doing, that's still easy money that has to go away to take the risk they're taking, right? They're taking excessive risk as the risk in the entire system, are changing overnight with the central bank. Sweet Jesus. That's what's up. So if we look at the TNX, I'm going to use his logic. Let's see. We're going to put this thing on the fucking yearly because fuck it. Because fuck it, that's why. And on the yearly with a 4, oh wait, I got to set this moving average. Where is it at? Well, based on his 4-year moving average, which seems to be an amazing moving average on the down cycle of the lifetime of the TNX, this looks pretty bullish. Let's look at the S&P 500 on this. Well, nothing to worry about with the S&P 500. It's only ever touched a fucking 4-year moving average once since the fucking 90s. This is easy. I can TA everything in minutes. We should all be this lucky. Jesus fucking Christ. So if you guys have a 10-year horizon and you realize that that's only touched once, you guys don't have anything to worry about. The correction might last long enough for your fucking kids to go through fucking college and fucking goddamn used clothing, but it's only touched it once. The cheat code of markets. I've been fucking wasting your guys' time with these stupid squiggles, bro. Like, I'm a fucking idiot. Why are you listening to me? Look what I look like. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, I wouldn't listen to me, bro. I look like a fucking retard. Fucking 4-year moving average. Fuck my life. Fucking 20 years of trying to figure out how to fucking time this shit, and this motherfucker walks in here with fucking a 4-year simple moving average, and I'm just wrecked. 400 shows later, guys. Fuck me, fuck you, we're out. You guys go fucking subscribe to Sailor-nomics. That's right, time to lose. Sailor motherfucking nomics. Jesus fucking Christ, a rogue member of the family. Nobody ever liked that guy at the dinner table, I'll tell you that much. He was on always about this fucking bullshit. Everything comes in fucking fours, that guy. Fucking 4. Unbelievable. So I've been lying to you. Don't study prices, people, and all that stupid shit. Don't do any of that. We're just crazy. Sentiment things is a ruse. Oh, whoops, that was stupid. I just blew that all over everything. Goddamn. Fuck. All right, well, I'll clean that up in a second. Anyways, fuck Sailor-nomics. We're on some fucking Rugged-nomics. Let me adjust this fucking moving average to something that's not retarded. 1 second. Unbelievable. You know, you wouldn't live long enough to see if anybody was wrong on projections like that. Like, shit. By the time you figure out he fucked you on that one, right? Like, half of the people that watch on the station are fucking dead. Alright. So let's look at some fucking crypto things that happened today. Which chart are we on? No, it's master. Okay. Oh, this is off. I'm like, what's going on here? So we told you to watch this in the morning. We're looking at this. Thought this is a good area because we're telling you guys if you pay attention to back in the days, the 17 cycle, not the 17 cycle, sorry, the blow up here before we took off into like the all-time high of it. This is pretty much your last key area to bounce on. So it's a good stall point, right? And we said this was probably good to watch also with USDT, goddamn it, USDT.D. Fucking Christ, you know, that's really stupid to have that many goddamn letters. Just call it a fucking index name. Anyways, this is what I told you, right? This trajectory is always dangerous, and you always have to keep in context, right? These are the kind of structures you like, but when they like start to kind of like, you know, congest like this and grind higher, they end up creating basically the makings of a very tightly wound bear flag, and they're always like, you know, bad ideas. So this is part of figuring out like today was like bounceable this morning. Did you guys get the theme of this morning? Did everybody understand the theme? I thought that was pretty good. You don't understand what it takes to fucking come up with these every fucking show. It's a fucking killer. I'm telling you. You guys get this though, right? Hunting for gems. I thought that was cool. Could do some cool stuff to that guy and probably throw him as an NFT later. But I thought that was a badass one. Anyways, so right, if you pay attention to this, you guys should have stayed safe all day. We gave you a couple of badass projections this morning that worked out pretty sweet. Futures projection, this guy worked out, and then you had your lightsaber come, and if you played that, so we saw double booby do. So pay attention to this. You made a bull flag, and double booby actually played into the bull flag and then played out of it, and then now you have this. So this actually thing is pretty dangerous looking right now. This isn't really a great pump right now, but now that this has happened, that's kind of your line in the sand to pay attention to what he does. He needs to structure and stay above this, right? He comes back through here and dicks off in this place. Then this whole area is fucking the congestion. You wait for him to leave again through this or out of it. You don't fuck around in the middle of this. If he gets back in the middle of this, that's a very bad thing. So it needs to stay outside of this if you're going to squeeze. And Bitcoin looks stunningly close to this structure. That's probably not a good thing. Everything looks exactly like that. And like that really tight correlation, it kind of reeks more of like a potential another de-risk type move coming than like a correlated squeeze between all of them. This is our VIX today, so this was pretty good. We had this. If you made a bull flag structure, he gapped down and he just rotated down, and he closed on the trigger he gapped off of. So this morning at 3 o'clock in the morning when this opens, what this does this morning is going to be pretty important. I was watching the Nikkei, and the Nikkei, if he's a good indication, had started off up, but fucking has blown off the entire thing. So if he stays negative and Europe opens negative, the VIX probably opens on a gap, and the SPY begins to correct overnight, and you have to wait till morning to get a read on it and see what the fuck. So I pay attention because I thought this pump should have been stronger if we wanted to see, like, you know, like strong enough that you couldn't think about buying into it. If you weren't part of like the rotation right away, it would have left faster, I think, if it was stronger. It's a good area to bounce off of. It is the area we told you right here, which is from this chart, right? The troll party level. Got trolled on Twitter into the troll party level. Pretty fucking funny. But this level is pretty good for a bounce, but I still think there's a chance that we flush some of these demons out by dumping through that and somebody getting blown up on the way out of this. That's tightly wound, and then we get a chance for a more meaningful bounce, because this feels anemic as fuck to me. You know, we look at the way we came down, like moves like this, these bitches are vicious, right? Where there's a real bottom move, Bitcoin will fucking fling everybody out and recoil so fucking fast you won't have a chance to think about how fast he's leaving, right? There'll be some colossal multi-thousand point wick. This is very, very anemic, to be honest with you. So I pay attention to it. If we flag under boats and cocaine, I pay attention to it again, right? I think the guys you kind of watch, fucking Sailor. Not this chart. That doesn't look good colors. Hold on. I could turn that one colors. Wait. I set this up right. All right, there we go. So depending how we open tomorrow morning, that's like a really scary fucking like gap bear flag, right? Really shitty rally into his gap on top of it. So I think you watch him and you watch, you know, the way we come into the morning with these guys, and there's a slight possibility of another flush on this right now, right where we are. It doesn't look good. We watch some of our other shitty people in the market, right? This was a projection we made for her. Damn. I'm pretty good. That's a crazy freehand. If anybody remembers what show I fucking did this one on, I'd love to know too. That's fucking scary. So shit. Well, so that's exactly what she should flag about. And if she finishes rotation, then Sailor's in let's see, where's put Sailor on top of this? This is fucking sick. Didn't I do another one over here? I have another arc thing over here. Oh yeah, we did this projection this morning. This is what we projected for the day. Ha, that's perfect. So if she gaps down tomorrow, both of those will be right. I don't remember when I did this. This was many shows ago. But that's pretty cool. They both work. Come on, that's fucking sick. I know we're on that chart one day. Somebody asked about ARC. I did some like projection for those legs, and then this morning we're looking at the possibility of a gap and fizzle on shit like that, because honestly, like Coin and all those guys, there's no real bullish sentiment in the market, and the Fed saying they're doing 75 basis points, and you know they may not do it again, but 50. All you know is they're going to continue putting pressure on the system, and guys like Sailor are kind of pretending that's not happening. You can never go against the Fed, and you don't hear Sailor say one word about it. When the Fed is like, dropping stimulus into the system, and the Congress is fucking, passing stimulus bills, everybody's quick to say Bitcoin, watch out for inflation. All right, so the Fed is fucking like, reducing their balance sheet and drawing a few trillion out of the system. You notice there's not a fucking word about the Fed, right? So be really careful of selective logic. Those are some badass projections. Those have been pretty good ass freehands, man. Come on, there've been so many I can't even clip highlights of those things because I can't remember where the fuck they come from. If you guys got good notes though, do send them to me. If you know like I do a million of things. I can't remember what the fuck I do. Those just pull them up like, oh, there's that one. And you know what's the most fucked up thing? That second chart that has the really good leg projection. Because I played Arc down. I never look at that fucking chart. That's the classic chart from the first show, and I don't ever go into that thing. I was probably on it for an old chart and then forgot and did Arc in there like a dumbass. That's why I don't remember where that was. Damn. That one's really good. When the fuck did I do this anyway? Like, yeah, it's whenever I last measured it, see? This is when I did what legs. I went onto this to put it next to a classic crash cycle chart. And so the last time I measured it, we were projecting how far he could go from the breakdown of this. That's why we have that. We probably borrowed a leg or something like that. Fuck. Yeah, that's good. So what was our projected target for that next leg? So if this actually came and we threw down and Bitcoin threw down to that troll party to, the fuck was it? I'm not even gonna look. I can't remember this. God damn it, I can't. Troll party to core revival. If we go into that box range and arc those down at the same time and somebody blows the fuck up, I think then you get at least a break. But the longer term of this seems kind of scary because if Saylor can really hang on as deep as he said and fucking Celsius can make it to 14K and it's the same shitty behavior that got him to the predicament where they look like they're fucking on the brink of fucking exploding, markets don't tend to forgive that behavior and let, billion-dollar institutions caught in that position out of that position, in my experience. There's multiple versions of this in the market also. That screams just still, beyond caution and not say total danger, but some degree of it. So I think pay attention to this within the resolution of what we're dealing with. If we're getting a bounce in this res, pay attention on this res until it proves it's something much bigger, right? Until it takes out like this, we don't give a fuck. This is a catastrophic kind of dump and speed of dump. Anything bouncing here can be a dead cat, until it proves itself at higher resolutions. So if you're still, like I said, in liquid crypto assets like things like board yachts, clones, doodles, things that are unique which have lack of liquidity, hedging against your dollar value inside of whatever chain is on ETH, whatever. Is the best strategy you can do. So stay vigilant. I don't fuck my life. Where did I just kick that thing to? Fuck. Constantly kick that motherfucker. Yeah, stay vigilant. Like, nothing sounds like the kind of commentary you hear at the bottom of a bear. Core revival is that level on the chart. It's in the 17,000s, this level. See right here? There. It's this blue level. 17,002, 712. You go back in time, you can see what it's from. See, it's a projection from March of 2018. All these levels were made back then. It comes from somewhere back here. Yeah, it's a recoil high back here. It's a good level. And we projected it forward and it got to this at shockwave perfect, and this is the main leave all the way to the 60,000. So if you get into that range, that's a pretty good shockwave. If you pass right through it, it's Armageddon. But I think if you get a flush into that range and come back through it, that is probably the best place that it takes more of a breather. It doesn't feel like we got a good bounce today out of what happened. We did get a bounce, but it just kind of seemed anemic. Core revival, get it? That's Bitcoin Core. There was a battle between fork chains back in the 2017 era. So, Bitcoin Core was one side of that. So the revival of Core at that price was that joke. Yeah, the Nikkei did give that a fast. It is worrisome to see what Europe does overnight. I'll say that. So this is some chill vibes. I need some fucking chill. I can't believe there's 83 you guys at fucking 10:30, and I took fucking forever to get this goddamn show off. Sorry about that. This morning, this evening, I'm telling you, it's definitely bear market things. Fucking nothing's working right. So, we had a completely other different theme designed and fucking like threw that shit in the dumpster right before we went on, and that was definitely fucking not a good thing. But this fits more with the sentiment, like, you know, you should stay vigilant, that there's still fucking bad actors in the marketplace, and, you know, treat every bounce you see in the market as suspect. You know, I would, you know, there is still too many people and too many projects that are shit. And if this thing comes down again, just like you saw it, like, you know, on the 13th, people literally panicking out and fucking getting obliterated out of things they bought at, like, you know, 10, 20, 30 East and cutting half price to exit things. The market's not done deflating itself, and the Fed is fucking telling you they're not done deflating this shit. So, like, this, you have to be cautious. Like, you never fight the Fed's tide, no matter what you want to believe. You know, I told people before, you know, you talk about engineering soft landings. If you ever look back at the Fed, they've never engineered a soft landing. And you know what a soft landing amounts to? It amounts to retail standing in the front of a fucking institutional training, letting them unload in your fucking face like a porn star. That's what fucking a soft landing, soft load on your fucking face. There's no such fucking thing. They're convincing retail to stay fucking in the market long and allowing institutions to fucking dump bar into your face like this is what they mean by a fucking soft landing. I think real estate, honest, is gonna get just absorbed until they can get every fucking citizen to be a fucking glorified tenant. The longer term view is nobody owns shit. Everybody rents. That's kind of like where they want things. And, you know, the institutions have gobbled up properties in volumes you can't believe in shadow markets since the bottom of 2009. You know, people have no idea like what level of consumption that led to the housing pinch you see in the United States. But, you know, the cheap money that was out there not only went to things like Luna and shit like that, but smart money guys who used it to fucking buy ass loads of fucking like real estate on the cheap from fucking the explosion of 2009. Like transactions like 500,000 properties at a time type size shit, you know, what they call bulk tapes, which you guys probably don't know of today because those don't exist much anymore. But in the you know, bottom of the market, they were banks transacting like fucking like, you know, pools of houses in the hundreds of thousands for fucking pennies on the dollar of where they were. And that supply was absorbed and was never coming back on the market for the prices they bought them for and the cost funds they bought them with. Those same, you know, massive pools are in a unbelievably ridiculous leverage position on those properties, and properties even in this point are still a fucking deal. And with rising prices, you still have pricing power on cost of living. They're gonna keep absorbing these fucking houses. You know, people are hoping, well, does this mean houses are gonna crash? The fact that even sentiment's out there, no, they're fucking not. Every fucking asset's gonna keep rising in prices while your money gets fucking useless and you suffer from inflation, and everything's going upwards together. Just at not a pace where you're benefiting. That's more likely what's going to happen. Sorry. I'm a fucking demon. You think I got anything good to say to you about this shit? What the fuck are you asking right now? What are you expecting? He's like, thanks. I feel horrible now. Seeing some slower on the commercial investment RE. I mean, you look at wholesale markets and those things are way saturated. These guys are flipping online properties they've never seen, and, you know, the professionalism of that whole market died. I did that for a while, and I wouldn't even want to be anywhere near what's going on there. The spreads are fucking garbage. There's crazy risks that people are taking. The margins don't, you know, make any fucking sense. If you have, you know, like this situation right now, the bottom of the market fell out, and people don't have a bid to flip, you know, investment property. They're going to get exploded too, and cheap money that backed them is going to get knocked out. There's just a lot of like excessive risk taking in the marketplace, and, you know, what the Fed's doing, if you don't pay attention to it, you'll walk into this, right? When the Fed's got easy money policy, you use these kinds of strategies and you ride the back of that wave. But when the Fed turns it off, you have to fucking stop all of that shit. And everybody who's basically like a one-trick pony is getting caught fucking doing the same thing, as the market completely has different fundamentals underneath it. That's exactly what I expected you to say. Which part? Motherfucker, I said a lot of words. I don't even know what I said. I hope you pay attention. I'm getting liquored up. But yeah, that should have made sense, I think. Demons don't drink. Let's see what else. Anything else in here? No other questions. Probably just gonna have a couple more sips and wrap it up. Let me see if there's anything else worth covering. So we did look at crypto. Let's check if NFTs have like, you know, the same kind of strength they had this morning. So looking at these guys, you know, it is good to see, like I said, when there's real fucking, like, if you know, what we looked at as a bounce starts to, because these guys are clearly like, you know, I think everybody got the message of how liquid and how dangerous these things are in this last correction, and it's on everyone's minds. If the market's gonna take a fucking fat shit again, all your blue chips are gonna fucking take a fat shit faster. And you know, that's there'll be legit panic. I think right now, if you could see relative strength in a slightly more risky liquid thing, you know, that tells you the market's a little bit chill. But again, it looks like it's building a bear flag. And if you look at Saylor, these things, you know, he comes into boats and coke and fucking peels off of it. I know you love my squiggles. That's not one of my better ones. I'm gonna redraw that for fucking sure. But a flag towards boats and coke and a roll off of that would be fucking deadly. And this is a good level to pay attention to, how he goes through or doesn't go through it. So that's probably your possible correction on this thing. I guess that's some fucking color that will work. So we want to be careful of something like that. MicroStrategy. So I know this is fucked up because it's overnight. Let's see. Beto is basically Bitcoin in futures. This is the 15th low right here. Okay, got it. So Bitcoin's flagging with basically this leg of MicroStrategy right now. So yeah, this low from the 15th is basically this. So it looks like more grand in Bitcoin than it does in this, right? Because this is that. So yeah, I think you want to watch Saylor. He's leveraged Bitcoin. I think this guy is like, this guy screaming about where he can get liquidated just speaks horrors to me. So however long it takes for him to get into trouble again is, I guess, how long the whole market. This whole gap, I think if he managed to pop into it, he could easily roll off of it. So I think you watch Saylor. Good old Saylor. In the longest haul, I think he doesn't survive. I thought the cover was pretty cool. Are you guys digging the artwork of the show or what? Tell me it's not fire. There's no market show like this. Where else are you gonna get fucking intel like this from a fucking demon? So, yeah, so remember I talked to you guys about hedging stuff. In the morning show, if you look at it, we talked about, you know, what you should watch. Actually, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago show. You know, if you're playing these intraday moves, you know, the SPY and the UVIX are your best friends. Approach this with caution. There's room for the market to push. You know, like I said, Bitcoin has room to get to boats and coke. I give them another 10% move. The SPY's got a little move for upside. Saylor's building an ugly structure, and the chatter that Saylor and what movement Celsius are doing, none of it seems good. You know, none of it seems like bear market bottom things. What price would he get liquidated? Saylor is saying he can hang on to like fucking like right around sub 4,000. Like the world would be fucking on fire by the time Saylor got knocked out, basically. But he doesn't give you the kind of rationale that sounds like, you know, responsible risk taking, or even accounting for the fact that we're in a different environment. And if, you know, if that was, you know, potential 4,000, wouldn't you fucking stop out and rebuy this shit? Like, what the fuck, right? It's kind of like, you know, It's like what Kathy did in ARC. What Kathy was doing was riding the back of like, you know, loose monetary policy, which was really good for growth stocks, and like loose, you know, low cost of funds, right? Low interest rates. When things changed, she didn't change her view. She just kept on with the same idea that worked under one set of fundamentals. And when the fundamentals changed, she made the crash cycle because she's got one bias that completely fucking like missed the shift in monetary policy. Saylor's doing the same thing, right? Bitcoin looks amazing when the United States is producing assloads of monetary, money, printing paper out of its ass. But the Fed is literally telling you to your face, we're reversing that very policy that benefits every fucking asset that rides on inflation. So for the time being, wouldn't you adjust to the central bank's policy? If the Fed's the market, you understood that? Like the Fed is literally telling you we're doing the opposite of what made your fucking coin go to 60,000. And you know that was part of it because everyone's talking about the Fed's printing paper. Well, the Fed is telling you I'm fucking deleting paper. Fucking then do the opposite of everything that made fucking sense. Seems like common sense to anybody who understood that. He's just not changing his stance. He doesn't understand it, or he doesn't know what he's doing. Who's that? Probably. I've been gone for a minute and they don't miss. I don't remember the name Probably. What's up, man? I saw Crimson Ghost in here. I don't know if he's gone, but what up, homie? Good to see you again after many, many years. People will get back at work for good. Can't recover from the trauma. That would be Great Depression. Like, you know, Berger, who's like part of the show a lot of times, his mom is in the show, and she said, you know, she never even took a hit from the internet bubble. She got like so distressed by the crash of 2001 that she just walked away from trading stocks in the crash of 2001. She got out with her money. She didn't take a hit, but she moved on to real estate. And I had a client named Marianne who was the same thing. I met her and she was in her 50s in 2009. And she did lose a bunch of money, and you know, a bunch of friends lost money in 2001, and she never looked back at stocks. She did put money in her 401k and invested like in indexes, and she had an IRA for that, and she moved on to just flipping real estate. And I met her flipping real estate, and she's just like, yeah, it's like I'd like something I can see. He's like, you know, that stuff just moves in a way that like I just, you know, for me, like I have to deal with it. And she was a stockbroker. She's like, I did myself. I just prefer tangible assets, and you know, Berger's mother came back after 20 years with the market doing what it's doing, and the market's now in a massive correction. And it was like the psychological damage of a major crash will put people off of things like permanently, like just fucking like move them for a whole cycle out. Bitcoin's crash, you know, in 2015, and the bottom of that thing when it fell out, coming off of what Gox did. Gox like mind fucked people. People who just sat there and watched the rest of fucking Bitcoin like move off into 14, 15 and just never touched it again after what happened with the way Gox came down. When it bottomed again in 15, it mind-fucked people again and blew people completely out, some colossal wicks on some shitty exchanges, and people got hit by scams, and it got wrecked again, and they just left it. That's what happens in the bombs. You have to have people give the fuck up, completely give the fuck up. They won't be talking like Saylor, or people like looking for target lows on ETH, or it's going to be a good deal. People won't think like it's going to survive like regulations, and they won't think it's going to survive, you know, what comes next, you know, with you know, any more stable coins collapsing. They'll think there's totally at risk if they stay in there. That's what bottoms, like full bottoms, look like. People don't want it. They want to talk about it. People won't ask about crypto on this fucking show. That's when you know shit's fucked. You know, people come here asking about Forex all day and shit. Then you know it's fucking wrecked. Nothing against Forex traders. But yeah, motherfucker would be back at Mickey D's. So that's the worst case scenario. But you know, if we're facing Bondmageddon, then you're facing a de-risk of the whole fucking system. All right, and let's look at that thing. That thing's scary. That's one of the scariest fucking charts out there right now that nobody talks about. Is this fucking piece of shit. I think this one has the drawings on it, right? Like, that's the bull flag of bull flags. Like, that's the fucking unwinding of the United States, if that gets any more fucking speed to it. And that's the unwinding of every risky thing in the fucking country for a couple fucking generations, right? That's dangerous. So Saylor calling 4,000s where you gotta kill me, and that thing rotating, that's the scariest two things I've heard and seen. You know, so that's the macro context of like, what will it take to kill you, Saylor? Like Bond fucking Mageddon, Saylor? Did you just ask to get punched in the face because your 4-year moving average is fucking stupid as fuck, Sailor? Yes, Sailor. Nobody uses a 4-year fucking moving average on a 12-year asset, motherfucker. It's been, like, seriously? But yeah. What's my thoughts on the fact that BTC USD has been dropping all week? BTC USD is the collateral behind half of these fucking explosions. He's getting fucking, like, you know, he's entangled in fucking these liquidations. So, yeah. I know there's a delay to this chat. But yeah, there's some sus kind of sentiments in the marketplace. So, hence the name Demon Slayer. So, it is minute 55. I'm going to wrap it here. I'm happy this many people actually came out this late, so definitely review this, I guess, tomorrow. Definitely some things to keep your minds on. Yeah, BTC dominance. Yeah, the fact he's dropping like a stone means he's dropping against other crypto assets, and he's dropping because he's the main guy entangled with the fucking, you know, de-risk that's happening to these Ponzi's. Him and, like, just you saw WETH go through the fucking floor, you know, and hit like 950 on Uniswap. It's because fucking he's the collateral under Celsius that blew out. So as they unwind collateral, you're seeing it blow out in the different places. But yeah, BTC is disproportionately the one that's collateralized right now inside of these guys that are in trouble. Can I explain the TNX breakout? That's the yields in the United States. That's a 10-year yield on our bonds, and it correlates with the 2-year, 10-year, 30-year, 5-year. Basically, the cost of fund in the United States has been dropping for, like, you know, ever since the end of stagflation in the early 80s, and that finally is reversing, and it's reversing on a macro scale. You're because it's reversing into a hyperinflationary environment that's now turning stagflationary. The U.S. is now basically raising rates to, you know, fight inflation. That's coming from, like, a lot of forces it really can't beat it with just, you know, monetary policy. And Russia is exacerbating that. So if Russia can exacerbate it and pump us out of that bull flag, it puts the United States into, you know, basically a fractal version of the late 70s, where we have rising costs, you know, rising unemployment, and rising asset prices and slow growth all at once, which should cripple the general population and then hit it with a famine, and you likely have social upheaval. The cost of fund in the United States would rise because the cost of fund in the United States is much like, you know, the interest rates you get charged as a borrower. If you're a shittier borrower, right, it costs more money for you to borrow. Well, the higher those yields go, it's the same for the United States. To fund ongoing operations, it's getting perceivably more risky for the United States to borrow money. And that bull flag, the way we look at prices, is a representation of the degree of risk to fund the United States. It is spiking, and spiking rapidly. So the Fed has to get control of that, because the United States itself is changing, you know, its risk profile to the world. Much like Greece's spiking interest rates in their bonds was indicative of growing risk, it's the same for the United States, and we're the biggest thing out there. Can I check VT, the world index, if you got time? I got time. You guys have to ask me stuff. Holy shit, I almost dropped that. Whoops. I got time, just ask me stuff. Let's see. VT. So VT looks like shit. Oh, I'm using the 1 month chart. Am I using a 4-year moving average? I should use a 4-year only. Let me make sure I've got a 4-year. No, I'm not using a 4-year. I'm not using that shit. I'm just being stupid. All right, so VT on a time scale we give a shit about. Looks like, you know, the planet's de-risking. And if we look at him, he's going to look just like the S&P up close. He's in a position to say he's potentially making a bear flag, right? That's possible. So in announcements, we put it, where was it? Market update. Right, this is the possible projection that we're looking at. Today, we shockwaved right around number 2. And then, you know, if it's like that, it was a multi-day shockwave at number 2. All right, to look at it, you have this kind of structure. Today we did a projection in the morning for this, and we rotated down, we gapped up, and we held, and we didn't make it out of this. This is technically 1, 2, right? And so we looked at this, and we're looking for, like, what happens here. 3, if you end up having a multi-day shockwave, which we just did, this doesn't happen. You end up gapping down, potentially doing this shit down here in 3, which is another multi-day shockwave in this gap. So right now, we're still inside 2. So you know, crypto looks weak. That's why I'm saying pay attention to this. It looks like we're starting to set up for this, and this is definitely, we know this from COVID. This is institutional like selling, like firing fucking massive amounts of fucking shares into the public without anybody being aware of it. You know, as the inside dumped into the face of the public without them fully knowing COVID was dangerous. This is exactly this situation. So it's why I think you see such like the, you know, like minimal pumps coming out of like, you know, the FOMC day today. As they tried to paint fucking deflation from the Fed as like, you know, bullish. It was ridiculous. So yeah, you know, pay attention to this tomorrow. At some point, there's a chance if it's not tomorrow, we shockwave again in this range. You could have like, you know, maybe one more day. But if we end up breaking again down here, I think you don't gap again. And if you see this happen, number 3 happen, I think we're waiting for something like this. And in this, we should see some other institution blow the fuck up in crypto. That would probably give us a chance for like a local bottom. Probably about where we said troll party to core revival. So I know that's my thoughts. Let's see. Isn't inflation mainly a monetary policy? Yeah, but you're definitely having you can have inflation. Like, you ever notice when they talk about CPI, they'll pull out food and energy. What 2 things is Putin attacking? The 2 things that are inescapable goods, right? Like inelastic goods. Like, they take out food and energy because everybody has to deal with it. But the fact is, food and energy, it consumes the greatest part of disposable income for the lower third of the income bracket. So food and energy, you know, is definitely an inflationary pressure you have to look at with transit and you know, freight and all of that. You're suffering that, and then with supply chain disruptions, the cost for assets is kind of artificially, for goods is being artificially pinched. So you have artificial pinch to demand. So you're getting inflation from like every possible place, and then you have wage inflation from what's happened from like excess stimulus, allowing people to stay out of the workforce, and you know, wage inflation from the wealth effect created by crypto across years. Like, you know, they're literally having to de-risk the system to send people back to work. So you have inflation at every possible angle you can get it. Producer price inflation, you know, food inflation, energy inflation, supply chain inflation, and then, you know, no real forward growth, and that's what you call stagflation. So it's coming from everywhere, and Putin is doing his best to make sure it doesn't fucking get eased. So it's not just as simple as that, I guess. I ain't gonna do every symbol, but I'll do something. Let's see. What did you just say? Gold. 2 people asked for gold? Really? Oh no, same person. All right, let's see. I have gold for GLD. I think this guy's already done. No, wait, not that chart. Oops. So gold, we've been watching this bull flag, super slow to rotate, but not really going off a bridge. And then, you know, with oil hitting new highs, you watch this commodities as a group, they've been pretty strong, but gold's definitely been like the shittier guy of the entire group. Maybe it's been a different resolution at time, but this is kind of what you're waiting for, and you kind of just have to be patient with it and see if it develops. But it's definitely just on just a higher res it's taking to, if this is ultimately going to be bullish and rotate, he's just moving at a totally different speed than most other commodities. So definitely paying attention to this. And if there's ultimate like real fucking like, you know, serious rip to bonds, this guy may catch fire in a bigger de-risk to the United States, if that ultimately happens on like a bigger resolution. So I keep eyes on him. So we said FXI, it's just China, right? Yeah, let's see. So, oh shit, I feel like I've done that guy. Man, that guy's a shockwave for fucking all of his life. So generally, we see shit like this and like BNB, right? We stay the fuck out of this. This is like fucking terrible, right? And you really look at it, you're playing ranges if you want to play it. So it is China, and what you can see in this guy is one of the worst patterns that you can know in technical analysis is the expanding formation. This is the fuck move that never stops fucking you, and that's what China is doing in here. The ultimate megaphone, right? He's a son of a bitch. So fuck China. No, you could probably play the oscillation if you get a squeeze from down there, but Jesus fucking Christ. I know you asked that shit for shits and giggles, Moynihan. But yeah, if the planet manages to squeeze, China will probably bounce from that range. He's running an expanding formation, but longer term, like, right? I think China has a good chance of bouncing that range pretty good. So we're at hour and 5. That's money. I'm gonna sign off with another drink. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Appreciate you. Stay safe till I catch you Friday morning. This has been Demon Slayer Winter After Dark. Peace out.
Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome